Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and I finally got the time to unbox this figure that I got, I believe, during pre-comic book day, because it's been a while, which I never got around to it. We usually do it like around that time, but we've just been so busy with like movies and comics, video games. We got the Finest Butcher box and the Snack Crate box and all the videos that we do on this channel, the BGM channel, and if you guys are watching us on Odyssey, the BGM Geek Portal channel and stuff like that. So without further ado, we got Kyoka Jiro, also known as Earphone Jack from My Hero Academia, and I've never really seen many figures of her. It's usually like Ochako and Momo are the more popular ones, and of course, you know, All Might, Deku, and Bakugo and stuff like that. So I never really seen one of Earphone Jack, so I'm like, hey, might as well get her. She's a pretty cool character. Her particular quirk, I have to see more of the anime, but I remember that her particular quirk is that she was born with these like earphone extensions like attached to her ear. They're like a natural part of her ear and stuff like that. And I believe they hook up to something in her boots that amplifies sounds. But also like when she's doing like spy missions and stuff, she can actually like plug it into walls, and over here, like, you know, whatever the bad guys are talking about on the other side of the wall, stuff like that. But she's a bit more of a tactical type hero. She's not really a, you know, jumping, super powered, big energy blast type hero. So it's kind of interesting. And yeah, she could, you know, hear the vibrations of the ground and all kinds of cool stuff like that. She's more of a tactical hero and everything. And unfortunately, she's also one of the, I guess, kind of sort of lesser characters. You know, like the top characters in the classroom are like Deku and Bakugo and Ochako, because she hangs out with them. And what's his name, Tenya, and you know, people like that. And then some of them are a bit more reduced roles, and unfortunately Kyoka's one of them. But you know, she's still cool. So anyways, I'm going to unbox her right now. She looks like she's a one-piece character. You know, like, in other words, she comes in one piece. I don't have to assemble her and stuff, but we'll find out. And after that, we'll put her on the display case and everything. But this is a pretty small box. Usually characters that are this small, because of course the figure's going to be a little smaller than the box itself once I pull her out. But usually characters of that size, you don't have to put them together. They're usually just one piece. And they come with a stand. But I want to be clear, I don't want to like confuse and make you think I'm talking about like One Piece the anime. I mean like the figure being in one piece and everything. And yeah, I actually got this one from Third Eye Comics. They also had that figures. They were announcing a couple of new figures around that time. So here we go. Just be careful. Don't want no random pieces falling out or whatever. And yep. Yeah, that's what I thought. She did look like a small enough character that she would only come in one solid piece and everything. And it's been a while, so I don't know if they still have some of those. I know at that point in time they had a couple of those, you know, like box stuff or whatever. I'll just get this out of here. Then I'll show you guys a real quick 360 of her. And then I'll show her like on the display case alongside all her other buddies and stuff like that. Yeah. And of course she comes with her stand and stuff like that. Now, again, I bought her quite a couple of months ago. Oh, she's pretty cool. I love these figures. That's the thing I like about figures over action figures is because, you know, the attention to detail. All the details, all the things and intricacies, I can speak English, I swear, that they have and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just pretty cool. Well, here's how she is right now. Like I said, she only came in one piece. I didn't think she was big enough to be like broken in, because sometimes they're like attached to the hip or something and stuff like that. And then of course here's the stand and all that. And yep, just put her in there. And then I'll show her off on the display case. Might be this other way around, but no, actually no. She has a smaller one small port and a larger port. So there you go. Yep, there you go. But yeah. So I like the detail because of course these are characters to be admired in the collection. They're not like, you know, smash 'em, bash 'em action figures like the regular action figures. And you know, some of these action figures you kind of skip out on the paint or the details and stuff like that. But if this is meant to be more of a collector thing, there's just so much attention to detail, the proper coloring, and all the craftsmanship, dramatic poses, stuff like that. It's just pretty awesome. And I think it's kind of weird because even as a kid, I didn't like to actually play with action figures because I like them to stay in their pristine condition. And you can't do that if you're bouncing them around and tossing them and bashing them into each other. And then of course action figures had the thing where if you like move the arms too much, eventually the arms are going to weaken and they're going to just drop and stuff like that. So I think I always preferred, I didn't know they existed back when I was a kid, but I've always preferred them as cool statues like this. There to be admired and everything, and not to actually throw around and play and all that kind of junk. I don't know, I was a weird kid. Alright guys, so here she is in the display case. It only made sense to put her alongside her other My Hero Academia buddies. We got Momo, we got Ochako, and we got Bakugo. If you remember, I got him at the old place. And yeah, I'm going to do a quick 360 on her. Closer. Like I said, she came in one piece, so she wasn't like those characters that you got to like connect the hips or whatever. Or, you know what I mean, like the waist. Usually they break at the waist. So you gotta connect at the waist and everything. And I think Momo was like that, though. I think Momo, I did had to, like, attach the waist to the rest of her and stuff like that. And I'm not sure. I think Bakugo was one piece. I'm not, like, once I put them together, I'm not, like, I don't want to, like, take them apart again. Unless I'm moving or something like that. But, yeah, later on I'm going to show off all the figures that survived the big move. There's another move upon the horizon. But until that happens, I am not going to buy any more like figures and stuff. Because, I mean, we need a place to put them and stuff like that. We had a place before, but now we don't. So once we go to somewhere else, we'll have more room and everything. But here we go. I like the detail that they even kept like the tear in the shirt. Because, yeah, she has a torn shirt and stuff like that. And just real quick, let me just show the bottom here. She has her headset on. And there's this detail here with the glove and everything. And also right here, yeah, those are the little earphone extensions that I mentioned. And I guess they're attached through like this. I guess it's part of her superhero costume because this thing goes over her ear. But whenever she doesn't have it on, like her actual ear, like these things are physically connected to her ear. I don't know what does happen if like they get cut off or something during battle, or you know, villains being douchey or whatever. I don't know if they grow back or what happens, but I don't know. I mean, the anime and manga already finished officially, so you guys can tell me in the comments below if she ever had the misfortune of having one of those earphone jacks being cut off and if it grows back or what happens. I do know they stretch and extend because they do stretch and go all the way. Oh, in fact, I wonder the back of her boot, does it? I guess, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think she has the little. She has little ports somewhere because I know they attach to her boots somehow, but I guess she doesn't have them like in the figure on the side, or I don't see them. I have to watch the anime again. I remember there was the part where she was like held at gunpoint or something, and she was like very quietly and subtly like making the earphone extensions go all the way back to her boot and everything. So they do stretch out, but yeah, it's just interesting. It's an interesting character. An interesting quirk as opposed to, you know, something more traditional like just blowing shit up or being super powered or super fast or whatever. So I do like that My Hero Academia did create a bunch of like very interesting quirks and stuff. Momo too, with her like pulling out like literally any object out of her body to use as weapons or nets or other things like that. But anyways guys, yeah, it's Mark Rodriguez signing off here. We're going to be doing a video soon on like the collection of figures that survived the big trip. You guys have seen the channel. You've seen all the other figures that I've bought. You know, all the Goku ones, and especially that huge FNAF one with Vanessa and Freddy and all them, Glamrock Freddy and all them. So you've seen the figures that unfortunately some of them had to stay behind. So we're gonna go into another video of which figures I have and which figures unfortunately didn't make the trip. So anyways guys, see you next time, and Kyoka's here ready to kick some ass and help out Ochako, Momo, and especially Bakugo. I don't have a Deku figure anymore, so eventually I do have to get a Deku figure, because how can you have My Hero Academia while I like the actual main character, you know what I mean? So anyways guys, see you next time.